Hello. Am I audible, sir? I hope I am audible now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we're extremely sorry for the technical glitch. I once again extend a warm welcome to the Educational Forum, Directors Dialogue, as part of the three-day Pan-NIT Hssrc conclave organized in collaboration with the 26 NITs at NIT Warangal. Vision is not enough, it must be combined with venture. And it's not enough to stare up the steps, but we must step up the stairs. So on this wonderful occasion, we have with us academicians and visionaries who are made a mark in their educational institutions in higher education. So I extend a warm welcome to Professor Swapan Bhattacharya, former director of NIT Surat. I take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to Professor Gautam Sutradhar from NIT Jamshedpur. I also extend a warm welcome to Professor Vibhuti Bhushan Biswal, former director of NIT Meghalaya, and Professor Sunil Kumar Sarangi, former director of NIT Roorkela. And I also take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to Professor Vidyadhar Subudhi. Since he's on official assignment, sir would be joining us online. So I would also like to share that we have with us presenters who are from different fields. They are administrators, policymakers, researchers. We have a diverse group here, and I welcome you all to this platform. And the theme of the conference has been to foster collaboration, share knowledge, and explore innovative solutions in higher education and administration. So NITs in India are the leading organizations committed to promoting science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in the rapidly evolving realm of higher education. Nevertheless, as challenges get more intricate and the world more connected, the humanities inclusion in STEM curricula has become increasingly important. And humanities play a transversal role in NITs that goes beyond providing extracurricular learning. It is essential to developing engineers and technologists who are well-rounded and capable of navigating and addressing complex global concerns. With this note, I'm sure this forum provides a unique opportunity for us to learn from each other, discuss the best practices, and address various challenges faced in Department of Humanities and higher education technical institutions. So now I look forward to suggestions, but before that I would, with your permission, I would like to present a brief profile of the panelists. So first I take the opportunity of introducing Dr. Swapan Bhattacharya, who is a veteran academician and administrator with a gigantic experience of 33 years in academics. He is known to have worked at various institutions and held various positions in IIT Management Kolkata, IIT Mumbai National Institute of Technology Teachers Training and Research Kolkata, University of Kolkata and Jadavpur University. Professor Swapan Bhattacharya has been very instrumental in bringing many reforms in higher education institutes. On Lean, he also seemed to have served as a director NIT Durgapur and also director of NIT Karnataka Suratkal. And he's also been a mentor, director of NIT in Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh. So thank you, sir, for joining us on this forum. I also take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to Professor Gautam Sutradhar, who has a PhD in engineering from Birla Institute of Technology and who is a director of NIT Jamshedpur. Prior to this, he's had great exposure in industrial exposure. He has worked at Hindustan Motors Limited and Indian Railways, and later he joined as a faculty at National Institute of Foundry and Forge Technology, Ranchi, Jharkhand. And he also seemed to have served at Serampore Textile College, West Bengal, and Kalyani Government Engineering Colleges. So he's known for his laudable administrative policy makings and decisions which led to improvement in administration. So thank you for joining us and welcome, sir. I also take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to Professor Vibhuti Bhushan Vashwal, who is a former director of NIT Meghalaya, who is also presently the Vice Chancellor of Odisha University of Technology and Research. He is specialized in production engineering, optimization techniques, product design, rapid education, product development, etc. Professor Bishwal is, with his acumen, led to significant changes that improved administrative efficiency and effectiveness. Thank you, sir, for joining us on this forum, and welcome, sir. I also take the honor of welcoming to this forum Professor Sunil Kumar Sarangi, sir, who is a fellow of the National Academy of Engineering and has been recognized for his contributions to cryogenic engineering education. He served as a professor of cryogenic engineering at IIT Kharagpur, and he has served as a director of NIT Roorkela from 2003 to 2016. And Professor Sarangi has been instrumental in stabilizing the system in higher education and research institutions. And he's renowned to have provided strong direction and guidance to administrative teams, fostering a collaborative work environment. And with his foresight and perspicacity, he could successfully contribute to effectively enhanced administrative operations. So presently, Professor Sarangi is an academic advisor at C.V. Raman Global University with a mission to make CGU Odisha a leading center of engineering education and research in India. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Welcome, sir. And I also would take the opportunity to introduce Professor Vidyadhar Subudhi, the director of NIT Warangal, a renowned academician and administrator, who has taken charge as director at NIT Warangal on 27th April 23. And he basically holds a bachelor's degree in EEE, Electrical Engineering from NIT Roorkela, and master's in Control Instrumentations from IIT Delhi, and a PhD in Control System Engineering from the University of Sheffield. Professor Subudhi also served as a professor at IIT Goa, and as a visiting professor is presently the visiting professor at the University of Saskatchewan and a technical committee member too. So Professor Subudhi also is known for his forward thinking and leadership in administrative planning and execution, with his high level of enthusiasm and commitment to administrative excellence. Professor Subudhi has implemented an organized and methodical approaches to manage administrative tasks efficiently. So with this briefing, I look forward to your insights, sir. And post-discussion, probably the forum would be open for reflections from the online and offline viewers. We have about 400, to brief about the conference, we have received about 400 papers and which have been organized across 44 tracks. So this morning session we have completed all the paper tracks on various multidisciplinary themes, and we have also had 9 invited talks where resource persons from various disciplines and various places abroad too have delivered talks. So we have both online and offline viewers attending to the Directors Forum, and it has also been live streamed on YouTube, sir. So thank you very much. Yes, I look forward to your discussion, sir. Could I request Professor Sarangi to share his insights?
Please unmute yourself, Professor Sarangi.
I apologize for that. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes.
No.
Madam, the program was scheduled for about 1.5 hours, but I understand at 4:30 something else will take over. So, how much, any time bar on us, any guidelines? Professors are programmed to talk 55 minutes at one go. You can't afford it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We would.
Okay, let me initiate the process.
Yes.
Okay. First, I am thankful to Madam Dibalakshmi and also to Professor Subudhi for bringing us together. It gives me a chance to see Sopan Bhattacharya and seeing Professor Sutradhar explicitly for the first time here and so on. Uh, the subject, I understand, if I have understood it right, is the role of humanities education in NIT system. In fact, it reminds me of a situation like this. I was new to NIT system. It was the board meeting, and the agenda item dealt with MTech and MSc education at NIT Rourkela. And I quote a very distinguished member, uh, an alumnus of the institute and very, very well established person. And out of goodness of heart, he said that we are board of an engineering institution. It is might be name called Institute of Technology, but essentially it's an engineering college in some form or another. And our job is to prepare engineers for industry. Why are we wasting our resources, our building money, hostels, student strength on anything other than a BTech education like MSc or MTech? And it was not out of ignorance. It was the perception in 2003 probably with a lot of people. I go back another 2-3 years. I was at IIT Kharagpur, and there was some kind of a direction from MHRD, that time it's the Ministry of Education, that how an IIT can contribute to better education in the RECs of those days or the state government colleges and so on, and how to produce a link. And we were trying to study something. The committee was made. I was made the chairman by my then director, Professor Anta Ghosh. And one of the things which came out was that when I went to college, 1965, I went to IIT Kharagpur, my friends went to Rourkela or Burla or BHU or somewhere, and nobody thought he is superior to the other fellow or more fortunate than the other person. We thought REC Rourkela is a college, IIT Kharagpur is a college, B College Shibpur is a college, and so on, so on. And everything was fairly at par. But then on, in 10 years, the IIT became far more reputed. The IITian felt far more honored and far more fortunate compared to the people who went to other institutes. And what are the reasons? Several reasons were identified by our committee. One of them was the following, that while IIT started with a strong science departments, the physics, chemistry, mathematics departments were as large, probably larger than the departments of mechanical or electrical engineering. And whereas the almost all other institutions had much smaller science education, mostly to support the first year physics, chemistry, mathematics education. In fact, as late as 2003, when I joined NIT Rourkela, we had 2 members in humanities, 2 in physics, 2 in chemistry, and 6 in mathematics, because mathematics was taught for 4 semesters. And one of the reasons, one of the conscious decisions taken at that time was to strengthen the science and humanities department. Entire humanities was one small room, 2 madams and 1 peon. And today it's a very big bustling department, and in Kharagpur it's a very big department, and so on. And is it a good thing or a bad thing? Let us see, let's look at the subject of getting more work out of the NIT system. Now we are talking 31 NITs, and each of them are having anywhere from 100 to 400 faculty members, we are talking of 10,000 faculty members out there and so much of brain and that many students and so on. And if there is not a proper administration, if the methodology of putting people to work is not right, so much of thing would be utilized less optimally, suboptimally. And which department is going to study? It is either a management department or a humanities department. We look at the administrative system, the social climate, the kind of students who come in there, what is going on in their minds in the hostels, so many other things. There are sociology, psychology, economics, and much more than that. In fact, another small experience in Rourkela, when I joined there in 2003, there was a system that extremely poor students, more or less just close to destitute conditions, and they were also there because they were bright and made it into the college, and they were given free studentship, free board, free meals in the hostel. And one of the perceptions was they were surviving at the mercy of their fellow students because they were footing his bill. And this was actually affecting their self-esteem. So I called the State Bank of India and made a deal that every student of NIT Rourkela would be getting a bank loan to pursue his studies if he asks for one. The bank said, yes, it's available, except that it is given at the parental home by collaterals which parents have to provide. And we said, nothing doing. If you are not accepting my proposal, we will go to somebody else. They said that only IITs and IIMs have the facility where a student's admission offer is adequate to get a loan. I say you have to include NIT Rourkela, otherwise we are taking our money to another bank. And it happened. So what I am saying, these kind of discussions, these kind of actions and consequences, research is required to make it more effective. And there are many, many other aspects of it. And I just am touching one aspect where research and teaching, advising the administration, advising the government, advising state governments, advising district administrations. So many other things have to be done by humanities departments. And I said this is only one aspect of the story. And I personally feel that all NITs, in fact all institutions, should have strong humanities department because it deals with people, and whether it is psychology, sociology, economics, language, so on and so on. In fact, we tried to enhance the language. We had only English. During my tenure, Sanskrit was added. Hindi we tried to add desperately, but it was impossible to recruit a PhD in Hindi with a reasonable level of academic competence. In 3 attempts, we got a Sanskrit madam, she was wonderful, but Hindi, till that time, till 2016, no. So, our idea was to introduce Odia, Sanskrit and Hindi along with English as the strength of NIT Rourkela, and so on for other institutions. So, with these words, I would pass on the mic to my other colleagues, and just feeling that it's a wonderful thing that such a discussion is going on. Thank you.
I take the cue from Professor Sarangi, who has been my guru in this regard, because I also worked in Canada and Professor Sarangi was my director. I have a different perspective to the subject. As you mentioned, let me put it this way, the matter of discussion is on the very need of humanities in engineering education. And IT you say, but broadly in engineering education. Whenever engineering institutes are there, or engineering colleges are there, what is the need and what is the purpose or might be necessity of humanities education. It's a transdisciplinary subject. Years ago, big engineering colleges were mainly into engineering education where they produced core engineers in different disciplines, and the industry requirement was also like that. They studied, they gained engineering knowledge through classroom teaching, through laboratory teaching, through some industry visits if possible. It was also not possible all the time. So that they gained engineering knowledge, and they were good enough to work in an industry and excel. But the things have changed over the years. Today's industry's requirement have been far, far different from what it was earlier. As the revolution takes place, after another, we're talking about Industry 4.0 and all that. This education policy is changing in the countries. We have NEP 2020 right now. And the future has been different, and again, the need has also been different nowadays. So only engineering knowledge doesn't suffice to excel in one's field. If he goes to the industry, it needs not many other things, life skill kind of things to be learned during these years, because these are the years when people get to learn many things, and then they utilize and hone the skills and do better. So with changing society, changing requirement, changing technology, and frequent rules change again. So the rule doesn't get fixed at one point. Earlier, if one joined as engineer in a particular company, he retired as a senior engineer, whatever is possible in his cadre, his rank. And today things are changing, and the work domain is also changing in a particular field. So for that, one need to learn certain things which are essential for adaptability in the industries also. So as Professor Sanghi mentioned, actually we are admiring that kind of states when it was taken at NIT Rourkela. As he said, the humanities department has all the elements that is required for one technocrat to be a wholesome product at the end of the study. So we had English, we had sociology, we had Sanskrit, we had economics. So all those kind of faculty are available, resources are available, who can give a sort of value-added knowledge to an engineer, and he becomes a full proof person to work in industries. So I also feel the same way that humanities, wherever it is a strong department in the institutes, engineering institutes, gives a better training to the students, better skill to the students than where it is not available. So I go the same way.
Thank you, sir. In the light of NEP, what kind of role, how should humanities departments be strengthened, sir, in playing an all-compassive role? I hope I was audible. Of course, we did discuss.
No, sir, but
Yeah.
Yes.
Good afternoon, madam. First of all, I would like to thank the director of NIT Warangal to take this lead. And I want to share with you a small information. The room in my home where I am sitting, I have a picture of myself with Professor Sarangi just in front of me, taken in NIT Rourkela, probably after some conference or whatever. So that makes me hugely emotional, I must say that. And very few people are aware of the transition from RE college system to NIT system. We are very fortunate to be there at that point of time. Of course, Professor Sarangi was an undisputed leader for us, and I was a small kid at that point of time. Just a couple of things before getting into the topic I would like to share. So, first of all, I consider myself as a former faculty member of Jadavpur University first. Everything else comes next. Anybody during my tenure from Durgapur or Surat, I always keep on saying that I'm a faculty member first, faculty member last. Everything else is a transient process. So when I joined NIT Durgapur on 2005, 30th September, before that I did not have any administrative experience. Head, dean, nothing. Number one. Number two, Jadavpur University is a very strong faculty-driven institute. Practically all the important decisions are taken by the faculty. Whereas NITs are hugely director-driven institute. There could be some aberrations here and there. Number three, I don't know how many of you are aware of, Jadavpur University is equally strong in humanities, social science, basic science, and technology. We do have 4 or 5 whatever awardees in basic science as well. Whereas coming to Durgapur, I was just remembering, we had only 2 faculty in maths, hardly anybody in humanities, like that. Now coming to the point of today's topic, I would like to tune the title of the topic a little bit. I see language, literature, and technology. I strongly believe science should be somewhere in between. Science should be somewhere in between, number one. Number two, instead of literature, language, humanities, I would like to call all of them together as social science. As social science. So, this is number one. Number two, some hard facts we have to admit. Actually, I was very busy with something else. I could not do many Googles. I could not prepare myself much for today. But one thing I'm sure, even today, number of students opting for social science after higher secondary is much, much more than number of students opting for science and technology. At least technology, definitely, there's no doubt about it. But even then, those who go for social science, as if nobody cares for them. When we talk about placement, nobody talks about the placement of the students who are studying social science. They are completely out of the radar of the administrators. Generally, but there could be some aberrations here and there. Next point is, in the developed, economically developed world, say Western Europe or US, technology is nowhere in the top of wish list for the students coming out of the school. 1 and 2 happen to be medical science and judicial sciences. It varies, but those are 1 and 2. Then comes social science and basic science, physical sciences. And then comes technology. And it is a hard fact. And apparently our best students go for technology. And they're doing very well there as well. But they are competing with their counterparts who are not the best in their country. Best, I'm saying quote unquote, best is a different word altogether. So this is the background. We have to understand. And then the moment I say social science physical science, engineering science, management science, the problem comes somewhere else. We say pure science and non-pure science, biological science, but I don't know which is impure science. All these are media-driven jargons. When we talk about social science, then we have home science. So what is the relationship between home science and social science? What is the relationship between social science and physical science? Similarly, when we talk about technology, we have software technology, manufacturing technology, catering technology, fashion technology. So technology has become such a saleable word that this is being used profusely by the media to attract students. So we got to be very careful about identifying what is what and not allow the students to get carried away by the media publicity. Information technology. There is, I don't know any country apart from probably Australia where there is a subject called information technology. So in this context, before I sign off right now, since I would like to say just one sentence, the moment I say social science, encompassing literature, language, humanities, everything, we must understand what is science. Science is nothing but power of observation. Science is nothing but power of observation. When I observe a one-year baby speaking her mother tongue without any kind of training, without anything, we observe that very clearly. Nobody has taught her anything. So this is observation. Have we ever rationally or analytically, if we consider language, have we ever rationally or analytically tried to understand how come they speak like this? If, similarly, if a kid, if a baby born in, say, Odia family, right at the age, say, 6 months old, put in Tamil environment, can she pick up Tamil? Just like if you were in Korea. So, since I said I very much like to use the word science because of that. We talked about literature. The moment we talk about literature, a huge amount of literature is related to the society in which the literature has been created. Society as well as history. So all these has to be analyzed and all these. So, and there is the requirement of technology, but science is the bridge. So I just want to sign off with my initial comments. But I have a very hard meeting to attend at 4:30. So please excuse me. I will leave at 4:30, but I'm here at 4:30, till after 4:30. And again, I convey my regards to Professor Subudhi as the former director of Hssrc, who used to talk of 3G, just like research triangle in America, where they used to say 3G Hssrc whatever. And I was very keen to include Raukela in that, even though, so, देखा जाएगा बाद में. Okay, thank you.
So, sir, our director has just joined. Myself is Professor Hssrc, Deputy Director, and our director is just traveling. So he has just joined. So I request our director, Professor Gautam Sutradhar.
Yes, sir. I take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to Professor Gautam Sutradhar to this forum, Directors Dialogue. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Sir,
Yes, sir, we look forward to your reflections on the transdisciplinary role of humanities in NITs. That's the topic for discussion. Thank you.
I think there is some network problem. He is actually in the northeast area. So I just brief about what activities we are doing at NIT Jamshedpur. Uh, Very good afternoon to Mr. Sarangi. He was head of institution for some time here at NIT Jamshedpur, and welcome all of you. At NIT Jamshedpur, we have a department called Humanities, Social Science and Management with six sanctioned posts, and four are there, two in English and three in management nowadays. So we are basically teaching first year English for communication and introduction to soft skill, and besides some management subjects like IPR and industrial psychology to other higher uh, classes we are teaching. And we have started a subject like Indian knowledge system under humanities department to our students. So that is a new center we have established under the guidance of Professor Sutradhar. So this is all about what we are doing here, and I request Professor Gautam Sutradhar if he can, if such network problem not there, he can say a few words. So he later, I think, no problem. I think there is a network issue.
All right, sir. Meanwhile, we would like to play, since Professor Vidyadhar Subudhi is out of state on some, attending to some official assignment. In fact, we sought his permission and we had recorded his discussion, captured the video. No, so now that would be played. Yes. Somebody speaking.
initiative in organizing a program that is on NIT Humanities and Social Sciences Research Conclave. And I'm glad that many of the participants will be participating in this, and few directors will be there also to share their views on this important topic. I will be speaking on the transdisciplinary role of humanities in NITs. In the rapidly evolving landscape of higher education, National Institute of Technologies in India stand as premier institutions dedicated to advancing science, technology, engineering and mathematics. However, as the world becomes increasingly interconnected and the challenges are more complex, the integration of humanities in the STEM curriculum has gained crucial standpoint. The transdisciplinary role of the humanities at NITs goes beyond mere supplementary education. It is fundamental in shaping well-rounded engineers and technologists equipped to navigate and address multifaceted global issues. Humanities encompass a diverse range of disciplines, including philosophy, history, literature, psychology, sociology, political science, economics, and other arts. These fields contribute to the intellectual and moral development of individuals, offering insights into human experiences, cultures, and societal structures. By embedding humanities into NIT curriculum, these institutions aim to produce graduates who are not only technically proficient but also possess critical thinking, ethical awareness, and the ability to communicate effectively and empathically. Humanities and social sciences provide a plausible motive to engineering students to be grounded in reality by furnishing them with social context. When one is well established in the field of research, innovation and technology, it aids in manifesting a sense of realism. It gives us the opportunity to work sustainably and facilitates our interaction with others and the community. More broadly, humanities and social sciences involve the construction of identities, behaviors, and factors controlling thoughts, actions, and emotions. Understanding these aspects is valuable for gaining a deeper comprehension of both oneself and the surrounding world. Acquiring various lenses to view the world fosters a new kind of objectivity, offering multiple approaches rather than a single, often rigid perspective. This has the potential to change outlooks on life, facilitate well-informed judgments and decisions, and transform approaches to work and interaction with others. The evolution of humanities and social sciences department in technological institutions, especially NITs and IITs, reflect a growing recognition of the importance of a well-rounded education that integrates technical and non-technical disciplines. Departments as these open the debates about technology and its ethical and responsible use for the benefit of community. It helps people understand the possibilities and limitations of new technologies in social framework where one exists with other beings. It has not only opened a scope for transdisciplinary understanding but has also opened avenues for multidisciplinary research. Areas of research such as natural language processing, for literacy analysis, digital humanities, virtual and augmented reality in literary studies, computational literary studies, gaming studies, and various other areas of research have materialized and made their way in humanities departments which merge the territories of technology and literature. The Department of HSS in Engineering Institute take up
ethics in technology courses, courses on technical communication, on leadership and organizational behavior, communication skills, and many other useful everyday skills. These interactive communicative courses help the students to articulate their ideas clearly and confidently, which enhances their employability and networking skills, apart from their analytical problem solving prowess. Interdisciplinary research projects often bring together multiple disciplines to address complex real-world problems. One example being healthcare data analysis, which uses data science and AI to enhance the analysis process for patient data and support clinical decisions. The ethical framework here is developing ethical guidelines for the use of technology in healthcare, which uses the discipline of social sciences. I commend and congratulate the Humanity and Social Sciences Research Conference organizers for coming up with the concept to have an international conference on a topic so relevant to today's world, the purpose of which is to strengthen the humanities and social science departments and see them as successful and role models in the era of digitization. Undoubtedly, the conference will provide a forum for the exchange of creative concepts, difficulties encountered, and scholarly knowledge in order to further the conference theme. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Am I audible? Hello. So those were some of the reflections shared by Professor Subudhi sir. I also take this opportunity to invite onto the dais. Sir, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you are.
So I take this opportunity to invite onto the dais Professor Ipshita Chanda from the Department of Comparative Literature, EFLU Hyderabad, who would be here to share her insights to add to the forum as well. So ma'am, please. And we will take a couple of questions as well, sir, from the audience. Can it come here? You can be seated.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you. And good afternoon to all the honorable directors who have joined us. I have been here slightly longer than you, and it is in fact almost an emotional moment, as Professor Bhattacharya was saying, because we have been colleagues at Jadavpur University for 22 years while I worked there. I would like to start with more or less what he said regarding, the necessity.
Just can I intercept one moment?
Yes, sir.
Madam, I had the opportunity of being in FU twice, surprisingly, for your faculty selection. I'm a computer science person. I don't know for what reason the then president had nominated me as visitor's nominee.
I see.
As I took it up with the president's office, they said it must be a mistake. Then they say, no. There has to be, if there is a university, there has to be joining hands of language with technology. It comes from that level. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm feeling very happy to see you from Hssrc.
Yeah, and at the moment, I think you are in my hometown. You are located in Jamshedpur.
No, I'm in Calcutta, enjoying my life
All right. All the
without
best.
any constraints whatsoever on any direction. I don't have to take care of hostels anymore.
I mean, that is unfortunate for us because from the side of the humanities and the social sciences, uh, we would like to, you know, on behalf of the so-called other disciplines that they exist, uh, we do appreciate the fact that, I mean, all of you have spoken of the necessity for how, I mean, for the necessity of the humanities and the social sciences within an environment of science and technology. And what we would like to add to that is that despite the fact that we are always talking about interdisciplinarity and transdisciplinarity, I think what it means is not an integration of these disciplines, but a kind of relation between them in which both sides have something to offer. So perhaps that is one of the reasons why you were invited to be on the selection committee at EFLU, because perhaps we felt that there was something that you had to offer as well as on the other side. Because one of the things, and that is why I think that this is an opportunity from, uh, I take this as an opportunity to place a few things out of, having taught humanities for the last 30 years, and 22 of those, as I said, were spent at Jadavpur University, which has an overpoweringly strong engineering faculty, as Professor Bhattacharya would, testify to. Not that it needs any testification, but also the fact that the arts faculty, in the simultaneous growth of the university, the arts faculty participated equally by preserving the fact that it had a different character. So, I would just like to say one thing, which I probably sums up more or less all that I have to say. That because these are different areas of human endeavor and experience, they are subsumed within different ways of thinking and different forms of research. So it is not as if we are here only to enhance the technologist. We are here to make the technologist, actually, if I may say so, not a technologist but a human being who is a technologist. So possibly that is the contribution which, and that is the necessity for having a humanities and social sciences sort of wing or department or school, or in whichever form you imagine that it should work best. So it's not, like we are also ran, that the technologist runs ahead and we kind of, try and give him most of the time, very rarely her, we try and give him certain inputs which will make him a better technologist. So certainly he will be a better technologist if he is a better human being, and if he is able to understand how technology affects the human being. Because that power, I think, modern civilization has given to technology. But this power of being human is something which I think is a much older reality, and an older and a very basic necessity, which adds, I wouldn't say adds, which sort of completes, I would say, uh, a technological education. So, the fact of your experience and the fact of your sympathy, as well as the fact of your presence, we have taken the opportunity to just make our, I won't say again position, but we would take that opportunity to make our contribution to, making a human being who is a technologist, who comes out of these institutions and is able to function in society as a human being who is a technologist. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your stimulating thoughts on the role of humanities and how should it lead to a technologist, a human being as a technologist rather than producing a technologist. So adding another emotional and humanistic dimension to the talk. So the long-standing interplay between technology and humanities is more than just a current trend. It's a powerful force that would dramatically shape the future generations. However, it should be treated as a double-edged sword where technology unlocks new ways to explore language and literature and there's a need to protect the core values and in these fields and there should be a balance. These skills aren't just for academic success but also in they play a crucial role for actively engaging with the world around us. So as we draw this insightful panel discussion to a close, I would like to take a moment to reflect on the valuable perspectives and ideas that have been shared on the topic transdisciplinary role of the humanities at NITs. So Professor Sarang in fact set the tone by highlighting on the visibility and the ever expansive and all encompassing role of humanities. There were days where there was only one course offered by the Department of Humanities and that's English. But now NEP has provided ample opportunity for the departments and the faculty to grow and the roles also have been ever evolving. We play the role of a counselor, of a mentor, and there is a need to know the psychology, emotional factors or states of students as well. And we have been acting as material designing, then tailor making the class to suit their needs. Uh, at the back of at the backdrop of their time, if it is springs free time their mindset is different, if it is technosian time there, if it is exams time their attention levels dwindle and then it's a greater challenge for the teachers to take them into confidence and then make teaching learning more interesting. So we understand that of course we play a versatile role in the contemporary digital era and of course, the fundamental and the most profound notion shared by Professor Swapan Bhattacharya about inclusion of science in the title or in the humanities. That's been quite an astounding observation and thought. Of course, consciously, inertly it is there, covertly it exists, though we do not give a label to it. We do not recognize that it's not inclusive, but still there is a need to reflect on this idea as well of integrating science also into humanities. That's a wonderful takeaway from this discussion. Uh, and of course, Professor Subudhi mentioned how incorporating humanities into technological education fosters all-rounder development, of course, critical thinking, ethical awareness, and a broader understanding of societal impact. So it's just a beginning, I feel, with the NEP giving the flexibility and the autonomy to the institutes to revamp the curriculum and we were given the autonomy to come up with various new courses in the creation of academic bank of credits, floating new courses, interdisciplinary research as well, promoting interdisciplinary research. So yeah, we did step out of our jurisdiction in accepting scholars from various sub research areas under literature, linguistics, but then it's a long way to go to also integrate into sociology, philosophy, and then bring in inter and research disciplines in research. So that way we are still very primitive and nascent, I feel. And it leaves humanities departments a greater challenge in achieving these goals in improving research arenas. So on this note, if we have any questions, sir, with your permission, could we take a couple of questions or reflections from the viewers?
Just,
Yes, please.
can I make a small submission?
Please, yes, sir.
Um, Actually, there is a perception, it's not perception, it's true, that technology keeps on changing very fast. It's true, there's no doubt about it. I have a feeling that studies on language and literature, that is also changing very fast. But nowhere it is given that amount of importance as it is given to technology. Like, ma'am, I have no idea about the courses you have in your department, but I'm sure you will also have some courses which were not even thought of 10 years back.
Yes.
And probably presence of technology has an impact on changing the syllabus from that perspective. And another point I keep on saying everywhere, my Guru Professor Saring is sitting here, that we always have to think big and have a big vision. So and we must have some benchmark institutes to follow. Even though I make a very controversial statement, unfortunately, in India, we have lots of individual leaders in academics all over the world. But we do not have any single benchmark institute at the international arena. So, I would like, since you have taken the lead and you have Hyderabad, you have the great Institute of Language in Hyderabad itself. If you get some kind of a liaison with Oxford, Cambridge and Harvard and see where we stand vis-a-vis Oxford. What are the loopholes we have to plug? So this is my small submission that we have to look beyond India, and we are talking about IITs, NITs. Unfortunately, all over the world, there are classification of institutes depend on very good, bad, ugly. There's nothing like government TD, government, etc., etc. Now we have n number of IITs, quality infrared to ultraviolet. Many IITs are not even within top 15 NIRF. Some NITs are within top 20 NIRF, which is the government promoted ranking agency. Last week, some MBA team came to Jadavpur University and naturally they got 6 years in computer science and electronics. But some IIT, which is not even probably within top 100, forget about 50, they do not need MBA because they are beyond everything. So some big NITs have to take the lead and take it forward. And this is one area where, say, NEP has given this huge scope, interdisciplinarity, multidisciplinarity, where all said and done, IITs are still way down, even in Indian context, in social science. Some IITs may have some, one or two courses. So this is another area that would be my humble submission, that and make Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, these three as benchmark, and formulate a curriculum. If you think that I can be of any help, I am always there. In any case, I do not have anything to do. So best of luck. Huh? Thank you.
Yeah. Would you like to share your reflections or any queries to the panelists? Huh. Please.
One of the things that we humanities people have been saying is that this comparison or accepting Oxford, Cambridge as the benchmark itself is controversial because they are setting the benchmark, they are setting it according to their scale. And that is what we should be fighting against as humanities people, that we should set our own benchmarks because the kind of service we are doing to humanity or to our society is very different from the kind of thing that Oxford or Cambridge or Harvard are doing. The kind of context in which they are working is very, very different from the kind of context in which we are working. The kind of population they are serving is very different from the kind of population we are serving. The kind of cause we are, the causes that we are supporting are very different from the causes they are supporting. The kind of funding that they are receiving is very different from the kind of funding we are receiving. So why should we accept that framework, that benchmark, and why should we not strive to set our own benchmarks and strive for that? Why should we not shift the paradigm? Is the one question that I'm asking. I don't know whether I'm asking the right question. In fact, my colleagues have been dissuading me from asking this. They're saying it's a very undiplomatic question. But I don't know. This is a point of view, and I think I thought I should ask, and I'm asking this.
Thank you very much.
Just my response.
Yes, sir.
A great institute does not serve any country or any space. Oxford does not serve UK. Oxford serves entire world. Mind it. This is number one. I have never said that we have to follow their framework. What I say, of course we have to have our own framework, but while creating our framework, nothing wrong in looking at what kind of framework they are working on. Why people from all over the world want to join that institute. As an analogy, think of MIT. How many Americans join MIT? From all over the world they come there. So first we have to accept that a great international institute does not belong to any country or any section of the society or anything. But again, I reiterate, I do agree with the speaker that yes, we have to have our own framework. There is no doubt about it. But while creating the framework, there is nothing wrong in looking at the other frameworks which students from all over the world look at. That's what I say. But we must have our own framework. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Do we have any other question?
Good evening, sir. I'm Krishnaveni from SR University. So you have spoke on social sciences, literature, and technology. So you have given a very good conclusion for that. Then I'm asking question to you very clearly how it impacts and how it is useful and how it is showing interconnectedness to the researchers and also how it give benefits to the students according to your perception.
Professor Sahigi, would you like to take this question?
Okay, if you ask me to.
No, I can, but since you are there, with vast of experience.
Yes, I will share my thought and Professor Bhattacharya will share his. Uh, I will cite the case history, two case histories. One, my classmate, I had a friend named Arun Jain. We were 65 people in the class of mechanical engineering, IIT Kharagpur. 64 got first class, one did not, and his name was Arun Jain. 30 years later, there was a directory of the highest paid uh, individuals, executives, industry executives of the country, and Arun Jain was within the top 25. Obviously, other 64 did not qualify anywhere near that list. And that is, why was it possible? It is because maybe he took less interest in the dynamics, mechanical vibration, thermodynamics, heat transfer, whatever, and got little less marks compared to the rest of us. But the education that he got and the education he got from people who are carrying out research in dealing with the people, there were professors of economics, professors of sociology, professors of language, and he was spending more time in that department while we were students. And that gave him this high position as one of the top 25 salary earners in the country. I would not like you to interpret a high salary earner as somebody who gave himself more salary or the society gave him more salary. Just look at the other way. He was paid the highest salary because he was contributing the highest amount of wealth to the nation. So the nation paid him a fraction back, just like everybody else is paid. All I am saying that the combined education of humanities and engineering made him capable of contributing so much to the society, the salary being only an indicator of the contribution he made to the society. I'll go to the second, another young fellow. There was one Asutosh Naik, was an IT Rourkela student when I was the director. He graduated in mechanical engineering. Good score, but nothing top of the line. Hired by NTPC, joined the NTPC newly constructed site for setting up a new power plant, and they placed him. He had the tenancy in the institute itself. They placed him in land acquisition. Land acquisition for a power plant is a serious matter because it requires a lot of land. And just a couple of years before, a company called POSCO from South Korea wanted to set up a 50,000 crore company in coastal Odisha, and the project was closed because land could not be acquired, and it's a very vital subject, and they put him there. And he was just a young fellow, fresh from college, and he was of course reporting to somebody else, but played a very crucial role in ensuring that in record time NTPC could collect its land with all the people happy, the people around, the people who gave their land to the company, and the company could make progress unlike he set up in the COVID time a company in Rourkela itself where his business was very simple. He would take a mini truck and made it like a room and packed frozen, ice plates all around, make basically a cold room inside the truck, would take his vehicle to across the river to the villages, collect the vegetables, bring them to the market in Rourkela along with the people. They would sell their products. In the noon time, they will put the rest of it back into the refrigerated compartment. No refrigerating machine. Machine was outside. He only had the plates, ice plates. And then it remained reasonably cool by the evening. They will take their product, sell it and go. And that revolutionized the marketing of vegetables in Raurkela city during the COVID period, and today it's a multi-crore company giving employment in the social sector. And you can say Asutosh Naik was a special person. He was a gifted individual. Not correct. It is people learn from the institutions they go into. Not only his parents taught it, his schools taught it, his colleges taught it, and his studentship at NIT Rourkela, he cultured these attitudes and cultured it further while working for NTPC. So, because many different skills have to be imparted to the students so that they serve the society better, they benefit far greater numbers than their other peers. It is possible only if we have a diversified institution. So a strong humanities department, a strong biology department, a strong electrical engineering department, a strong computer science department, everything is required in an institution like NIT or IIT, and that's all I wanted to say. And if we come back to the NEP, NEP makes it absolutely possible. In fact, NEP says in very clear words that isolated institutes, engineering colleges, medical colleges, pharmacy colleges, agricultural colleges, this is discouraged. In fact, the concept of IIT, NIT is discouraged by NEP. They say there should be comprehensive universities like they are there throughout the world, in Europe, in America, in China, in Russia. Comprehensive universities, Jadavpur University or BHU being examples where we have all subjects, music, painting, arts, engineering, medicine, agriculture, pharmacy, sciences and everything, so that everybody learns from each other, not only in the classroom, but in the football field, in the canteen, everywhere else. In fact, people say the greatness of MIT is not in the classroom, it's in the canteen, in the tea stall. So to make it possible, obviously humanities departments with all the features, language, literature, social sciences, anything else Professor Bhattacharya mentioned, all of it are essential components of the learning ecosystem. In fact, at NIT Rourkela there is a little signboard. It's a quote from Einstein or someone as big as that. It says, education is that which stays with you after you have forgotten everything they taught you in the classroom. So, as you can understand, teaching in the classroom, teaching outside the classroom, and teaching is strongly linked with research. The topic is on research. We are talking of teaching because we are not distinguishing the two. Teaching, research go together because professors teach whatever they are learning, and whatever they are learning is otherwise called research. So therefore, we find how they are integrated, how the national policy is encouraging their integration, and obviously big humanities department, big means as big as the other departments, are essential components of good institutions. And it has been proven time and again in our country, institutes which did not invest, engineering institutes equally funded by the government, which did not invest in sciences, in humanities, in multiple aspects of humanities, actually suffered, while those who did uniformly invested their resources, human resources in all aspects of engineering, all aspects of education, actually prospered and went up in the scale of reputation, which means in the scale of rendering service to the nation. Thank you.
Just one point. I have another meeting to attend, but I wanted to share two very important points here. Because in any such deliberations, I always like to come up with some deliverable points. What we can deliver in concrete terms. So, as for example, we all use Google for searching. So, any one of us can visualize the amount of language processing required in making that search engine. I am am pretty sure Google employs a large number of researchers in language.
Of course.
Similarly, nowadays language translators are very common, very common. In fact, 2017 I had been to China. All of us have experienced that. So, we say language translator is a software. Yes, of course it's a software. But they have to depend on language experts. A software expert cannot be a language expert. And then converting one language to a different language with entirely different kind of grammar, it's a non-trivial job. But just like computer science department, they know who are the companies to look for placement, Google, Microsoft, etc., etc. In social science department, have we ever thought of the companies which employ such language translators? I don't know whether, like, Jadavpur was a very strong, language department, they call it, okay, different kinds of department. But I'm still not sure, even JU is also aware of that. Have we ever figured out what is the language group in Google? So that would be my another point of submission, that take proactive lead from this humanities department for placement. At the end of the day, whatever, ultimately it's placement that matters. And the other thing is language, natural language processing is a hugely common research topic in any computer science department. Does NIT Warangal have an ecosystem whereby a BTech student in computer science can take a non-departmental elective in language, or an undergrad in language department, can she take a non-departmental elective on software engineering or database management system? So these are some of the food for thought. And continuing with what Professor Sarangi said, I used to teach, another example, I used to teach in IIM Calcutta for some time. I remember one student, English, graduation in English, you know, IIMs, they recruit everybody. She was a very bright student, and finally she landed up in Oracle Corporation, working in Hillsdale, California. Could be in HR, could be somewhere. So when you talk about Microsoft, who said you need to have a computer science graduate to join Microsoft? No. So this is an area where we have to, and when I talk about Oxfords and Cambridges, this is another reason which opens up the vision, opens up the connectivity to the entire world. And today we have to think on our original strength. Thank you. So if you don't mind, I have to.
Yes, sir, just before you leave, I figured out why you were invited to the EFLU selection committee. Because, no, seriously, because we have a very, very strong computational linguistics department.
Now we understand why.
All what you are saying, from the point of view of language per se, we talk about it as literature people from the point of view of linguistics, and these two are different things. When you are talking about whether social sciences here, and I think they will now, whether social sciences here have looked into which graduates are fitting there, or what can they do in those departments. Basically, you were talking about translation. So the EFL University, as you know, it's English and Foreign Languages University. So
I know.
There's, an immense number of graduates who do go into, NGOs or other kinds of organizations in the social sector whose main skill is in fact language translation.
So,
But and so there is just another thing which I thought that we could, enhance this kind of flexibility, especially in quote unquote government institutions. Though sir said that there is no such difference anymore, it is very much there because of the kind of ingrained attitude that there is regarding, the difference between technology and humanities. So since you are smiling, so you know what I'm talking about. This
Yes.
is at the ball is actually in the court of technologists and educationists like you, because all the, the evaluation structures, the funding structures, and even the academic structure is somehow dictated by technology and science. And that was the point I was trying to make when I said that, it's not that we want to enhance the technologist. What humanities can contribute is to complete the technologist as a human being. So one of the things I think that is required is actually an attitude and a policy change on the
Sure.
level of technology. And another very simple thing which we have been discussing here during this conference is the fact that perhaps all the social sciences and humanities departments across NITs could cross-list their courses because, as you said, I mean, the NEP allows for some amount of learning to be online. And
Yes.
so whatever different skills in the humanities that different NIITs have can be shared so that I mean, both the humanities and social science learners as well as the technology learners could have access to a wider variety of courses. And as Professor Sarangi said, I mean, I think that would lead to future technologists who would, like I have been continuously saying, be human first and not technologists only. So perhaps that is one of the things that, is a result of this conference where so many NITs have collaborated together, and we could take that collaboration further, both for the benefit of the humanities and social sciences departments, because they are not service departments. They are also, they have an area and space of knowledge within academia of themselves, and then they can collaborate with technical and the technological side.
Just on a serious note, in that faculty interview, still remember, I was very much participating in the discussions of the interview as well. And finally, I am looking forward, as I said, I want some deliverables. I am looking forward to some high quality publications in natural language processing, co-authored by one faculty member from computer science, one from mathematics, and one from humanities.
Yes, it will have to be cross-university because
So-
we do not have
so-
mathematics or computer science.
So everyone has his or her own. Sorry, I'm running out of time. Thanks a lot. We'll be meeting online, offline, wherever.
Thank you.
So, sir, Professor Sarangi, and we'll meet soon. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much
And-
for joining us. Thank you for that futuristic and most stimulating thought shared. I'm sure the panel is highlighted on the importance of humanities in stimulating creativity, innovation through diverse ways of thinking, leading to problem solving, and also we can inspire more holistic and groundbreaking solutions in the fields of merging. It's an amalgam of science, technology, and then humanities. So I take this opportunity to extend my deepest gratitude to our esteemed panelists for their thoughtful contributions, and to the audience for their presence. And then I also extend my thanks to Professor Ripshita Chanda, who joined us in the panel discussion at such a short notice. So her presence also added value, and then with her insightful thoughts. So I'm sure this would greatly enrich the discussion and underscore the importance of the topic, transdisciplinary role of humanities in NITs. So once again, I extend my thanks to all the panelists, Professor Swapan Bhattacharya sir, Professor Gautam Sutradhar, Professor Bibhuti Vishwal sir, and Professor Sunil Kumar Sarangi sir, and of course the host director in absentia, Professor Vidyadhar Subudhi sir, who made this happen, who has been constantly motivating us and encouraging us and supported in convening this Pan-NIT Hssrc conclave. So thank you very much, sir. I am signing off. This is Professor Madhavi, Head Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. Thank you for the opportunity given. Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, dignitaries on the dais who participated in the conversation. Thank you, Madhavi ma'am, for moderating. Thank you, Ipshita ma'am, even though on a late note you had joined and added to the fruitful conversations. Thanks to all the participants for the questions and your patience in listening to throughout the dialogue. Now we'll break for tea, just 10 minutes, and we'll be back again for the valedictory. Thank you.
Research scholar from the Department of Humanities and Social Science, NIT Warangal. I'm really proud to invite you all for the valedictory session of the Pan-NIT Humanities and Social Sciences Research Conclave, Hssrc 2024, themed on Humanities at the Crossroads, the convergence of language, literature, and technology. We are delighted to have you all here to celebrate the culmination of these past 3 eventful days. I believe that you all had a wonderful learning experience through this conference. Our director is unable to join us today. His leadership, guidance, and vision have been instrumental in shaping our institution. It's my privilege to welcome our director, Professor Vidyadhar Subudhi, in absentia to the valedictory function. Next, I welcome our director in charge, Professor Venu Vinod, Dean Faculty Welfare, to the stage. So please. I request Somrita Jinda, research scholar, to present sir with a portrait plan as a token of our love and respect. Now it's my pleasure to welcome our dynamic chief guest, Professor Ipshita Chanda, to the dais. She is a professor at the Department of Comparative Literature, English and Foreign Languages, University, Hyderabad. I request Garima to please come onto the stage to give ma'am the portrait plan as a token of our admiration and love. Now I take this opportunity to invite our head, Professor K. Madhavi ma'am. Ma'am, please come to the stage. I invite Dr. R. Vanilla. Ma'am, please come to the stage. Assistant Professor, Department of Humanities and Social Science, NITW. Now I invite Professor K. Madhavi to provide us an overview of the conference.
Thank you, Ms. Harishma. The real challenge in life is to choose, hold, and operate through intelligent, uplifting, and fully empowering beliefs. On this note, I extend a hearty welcome to the distinguished guests and delegates to the valedictory of the 3-day Pan-NIT Research Conclave on the title Humanities at the Crossroads, the Convergence of Technology, Language and Literature, which has been organized in collaboration with the 26 NITs across India. Today, we gather here to conclude this remarkable conference with a sense of pride and achievement. With the last 2 days, indeed, we have been engaging or engaged rather in thought-provoking discussions, shared groundbreaking research ideas, emerging research ideas, and explored the myriad ways in which technology intersects with the humanities, particularly through language and literature. So on this magnificent occasion, I deem it a privilege to extend a warm welcome to the chief guest of the valedictory, Professor Ipshita Chenda, Department of Comparative Literature and India Studies from EFLU Hyderabad. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. I also take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to Professor A. Venu Vinod sir, Director in charge, other organizing secretaries, Dr. Venila, heads and deans and faculty members of NIT, research scholars, distinguished guests. We also have with us Professor Samaravira, who was the chief guest for inaugural from Sri Lanka. I extend a warm welcome to you. I also extend a warm welcome to Professor K. Purushottam sir, retired professor from Kakatiya University, Warangal. And chairs, we also have Chair Dr. George Matthew, who is here from Hyderabad to chair one of the sessions offline. And chairs from other collaborating institutes who had chaired the sessions online, and other online viewers and dear participants. Once again, a very good evening to all of you. Our journey together has illuminated several key insights and themes that I would like to highlight as we bring to the close of this conference. So there have been 9, out of which only, of course, one invited talk had to be cancelled. 9 invited talks on several modern themes and then arenas which had really left the audience with sometimes maybe awestruck. Some of the topics led us reeling under the impact of that. So the keynote by Professor Darshana Samaravira from National Institute of Education, Sri Lanka, titled Choosing the Right Path at the Crossroads, Moving Forward with AI to Achieve Success in Language Teaching, set the right tone for the conference to take off. And then we moved on to the second talk by Professor Jason Anderson on translanguaging as a Southern theory of practice, followed by a talk on entirely a new arena, that is cognitive neuroscience, which was truly an awakening, providing ample scope for the viewers and the organizers that research in that angle and dimension is also possible. And then we had 2 panel discussions. Of course, one was a heads forum and then one was director's dialogue. And the talk by Bidisha Som on linguistics at crossroads of science and social responsibility also left the audience with intense thoughts about the intricate thoughts that she had shared with us. And of course, the talk by Professor Pramod Nair from University of Hyderabad, titled New Bioart for the Anthropocene, the Aesthetics of Poetic, was quite appealing, captivating, and stimulating in nature. And another icing on the cake was the research scholars panel, wherein these research scholars were invited to share their ideas on the title, Scope of Interdisciplinarity in Humanities and Social Sciences. So that also ignited the spark which was already fueled by the other talks parallelly held. So this is in short about the invited talks, and of course we had talks deliberated across 44 paper sessions, and the themes were highly untrodden. The topics that were brought up reflected, I feel, certain topics were really oblivion, unrecognized themes, and they were brought to the limelight, extending scope and for a kind of reassurance. Yes, is this possible? A thought that emerges at the back of your mind, a haywire thought, an abstract thought reeling under you. I'm sure you have found it to be more palatable through the exchanges that were made through in the paper presentations. So we are pleased by the enthusiastic reception this event has garnered, with over 400 papers on blue topics like blue humanities, culinary studies, then graphic narratives, sociology, anthropology, cultural and post-human narratives, etc. And to name a few of the titles of the papers, they relate to exploring mental and body dysphoria in contemporary television narratives, eco-humanities and sustainability, then unveiling truths, the power of linguistic analysis in forensic investigations, applications of AI, developing universal tolerance and empathy through a shared understanding of vulnerability in English classes, literature as medicine, representations of breast cancer and healing narratives, postpartum disorders, unraveling the contesting lens of biomedicine and the lived experiences, etc. So indeed, they were truly amazing and astounding and remarkable. I'm sure there have been several conferences, workshops and seminars held across the globe, but then this has something universal appeal, and it undoubtedly can be called a world class without any exaggeration. And all the credit goes to the presenters and the supervisors and the institutes and the faculty who have supported them. And it wouldn't be an exaggeration to share that we did receive papers from undergraduate engineering students as well from one of the institutions in Hyderabad. So that's truly amazing, and I'm told by the chairs and the audience that they truly deserve and they were amazed at the kind of creativity and the inquisitiveness and the research spirit that these UG students had, and the kind of audacity they took in making it all the way to NIT Warangal. I think we need to emulate and promote or encourage such research among UG students as well. In fact, universities have been talking a great deal about promoting UG students also to teach them how to write a research paper. But it's in a nascent stage. I think we need to draw inspiration from this conference, which creates a benchmark for promoting interdisciplinary research. So I'm sure the talks and the paper presentations provided renewed commitment to explore and embrace the convergence of language, literature, and technology. And we could assuredly visualize or envision that humanities departments have their space and they continue to remain more vibrant. They're no more voiceless or no more treated to be service or supporting department, but they have their own, they could carve a niche in any, regardless of the institutions they work for, and they would attribute to holistic development, personality development of the student, where fundamentals, the skills of empathy, emotional learning, humanistic skills are imparted by the teachers. And we as language teachers have the privilege and the honor to, and luxury, I wouldn't call it a luxury, but then the challenge to drive them towards these goals. And though we have been living in an era of unprecedented technological advancements, from artificial intelligence to virtual reality, and technology is transforming every aspect of our lives, as somebody mentioned, that we are using every day, several times, like you, always your fingers are on your WhatsApp or your mobile, clicking, either looking for some meaning, some information, some news, etc. So you are totally immersed in the era of technology, though the purposes vary. However, it's essential to remember that the timeless value of the humanities and these disciplines that explore the human experience should also be extended to history, philosophy, and arts. That is another dimension which have been conveyed or through the insights shared by the experts in various talks. So bringing in other elements playing an expansive role, strengthening the departments of humanities by collaborating with teachers of social studies like history, philosophy, and the arts. So, I would also like to share that we have contemplated on giving away the Best Paper Award, and that was decided in the last minute, and perhaps that has come to as a surprise to some of the paper presentators. And every track had identified one Best Paper award, which would be announced shortly. So with these few words, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the director, Professor Vidyadhar Subidhi sir, for his intellectual support extended. All the panelists, organizing committee members, chairs, participants, and also we are backed by a strong team. Kudos to the dedication and diligent efforts of the research scholars who worked beyond our, who walked an extra mile and at the expense of their work, time, pleasure, etc. They truly deserve a great round of applause for all their efforts. I'm sure with the contribution of everybody, the faculty, the scholars, the management, the administrators, the technicians, this event has made a resounding success and had sparked new ideas and collaborations that will continue to resonate even after we depart from here. So once again, I thank the chief guest, Professor Ipshita Chanda ma'am, for gracing this occasion as the chief guest. I thank everybody for their insights and look forward to your continued collaboration with us. I would like to conclude with a quote: to speak gratitude is courteous and pleasant, to enact gratitude is generous and noble, but to live gratitude is to touch heaven. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Madhavi ma'am, for that brief yet detailed overview of the conference. Now I request Ms. Pratyusha, Research Scholar, Hssrc, to ask from the participants their valuable feedbacks and suggestions.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kurmi Pratyusha, a research scholar from the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. I think you have had a great time attending this conference. I have pleasure of leading this feedback session. I want to listen from you all. So if you want to share your experiences, please raise your hand. I'll come to you and give the mic and you can share your experiences attending this conference.
You can also talk about the takeaways, suggestions, etc.
First of all, I would like to actually thank all of you, particularly all the research scholars who have been so proactive throughout the conference and have been really helpful. So thank you for all of your hard work. It was really inspiring to see all of you, working day and night for this. So thank you for allowing us this platform to share these insights. There's one feedback that I would like to give. Which is regarding the time constraint. I know it is also not something that the team could have worked on because you had a lot of presenters and they had to complete their presentations also like in a span of 3 days. However, I still felt like 10 minutes was possibly not enough to share, a 4,000 to 5,000 word of research paper. Even if you are trying to brief up the ideas, you have to rush through, whatever you have worked on. So maybe in future, if we can stretch it up to 15 minutes, if not 20, to, share the ideas. So just that one feedback with respect to time. But other than that, it has been absolutely great experience. And that's true that possibly, the best insights are not delivered during the panel, but maybe outside while having tea or, lunch or dinner. So, of course, there was no time constraint in that respect. Yes, that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone who wants to share your experience? Yes.
Good evening, Department of English. This is Dr. Madhu from KL University. The conference title Humanities at the Crossroads. Now, instead of talking about the title, what I can say is most of the participants, like me, we are at the crossroads actually to identify how we proceed further because we are moving into interdisciplinary studies. So, when it comes to me, I have my own doubts whether I'm proceeding in a right way or not. I'm touching up different aspects of interdisciplinary studies, and the moment I landed here, I come to know that there are people like me who are into different studies like neurosciences or neurolinguistics and NLP, and we are very happy to be here. Looking forward to be presenting our papers in future also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else? Okay.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'm thankful to NIT Warangal for hosting me. And from the moment I landed up to this moment, I've been really happy. And I wanted to take this opportunity to thank the unsung heroes behind, especially the staff at Kalam International Guest House. They're wonderful, and your hospitality is great. And I never felt that I'm away from home, and that is another very important thing about this conference. I've been to conferences all over the world and in India to many places, but as Professor Madhavi said, this is a world-class conference. There is no doubt, because the best practices I saw here and the innovative ideas these young people brought in, that is the best part of this conference. In most of the language conferences, we see traditional ideas coming in, and most of the papers presented are very much traditional, but there were revolutionary ideas here, especially from the young people. I respect that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And is there anyone else? No. Okay.
To begin with, thank you very much, NIT Warangal. It has been a great experience for the last 3 days being here. I feel like NIT Warangal as home, like I've been there to other NITs as well, but we enjoy that academic discussions, interactions everywhere else also, but when we come here, somehow I feel it is home. Yeah, and we all should actually be very thankful and congratulate you all for the hard work, for the team that is behind the screen. I know some of them how hardly they have been working, because even I attended earlier events here in NIT Warangal, but it was not this intense. There were parallel sessions, there were speakers, there were presenters, but it never lasted till 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And I had a word with the head. Ma'am said that it was hard to scrutinize and delete some or take out some of the papers. Therefore, they had to accommodate most of them. And the commitment is they stretched their day. That's something I found it very new in this event. So that's a great effort I could see from the team and the department. Having said that, we also got a lot of insights. Like I could speak to some of our scholars. So I was there at University of Hyderabad earlier. I worked there as a guest faculty. Now I'm with SR. And this is a ground report. We have scholars at SR University, and they are very happy to learn a lot of insights, and they liked it. And we have been asking them to attend more and more events like this. So this is what is something required. They need to keep interacting with the people who are with the same frequency, with the wavelength, so that their research actually takes a concrete shape. So I felt very happy about that too. And then the very idea of interdisciplinarity. There was a session about this, there was a separate session to discuss about it. and there were eminent figures in the field. It was a very packed up discussion, and there were very good insights and very good points raised in the discussion. Why we need humanities? Why technology is always away? Is it away or is it not? Why humanities have to be there? What is their role? And as ma'am rightly said, like, of course the objective is to build the technological or technological people, but ultimately they have to act as humans. So this is, I'm also very much interested to listen to this, because I saw employees, okay, well-paid employees, but at the end of the day, they see that whatever the tax that they get deducted by every month is their contribution to the country, but not. That's not the thing. They should know in what other ways they should give back to the society, and that comes when there is an integration of humanities and technological domains right from the schooling. If it is not done at the schooling, at least at a higher education level, it is mandatory. So I enjoyed that discussion. Thank you very much. Having said that, one last thing, maybe an observation. Like, there have been different kinds of papers presented. There have been different parallel sessions going on. And the papers come from either review papers or analytical papers or research-oriented papers. So obviously it is human that after lunch or by evening, people start losing their energy. So rather than keeping review papers or analytical papers in the beginning, maybe the research-oriented papers can be scheduled in the morning, because they come from the crux of the classroom or the field, whatever, and maybe the review papers or analytical papers based on the abstracts that we receive could be scheduled towards the later half of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. So here, the interdisciplinarity and the intents of researchers that's coming from the UG first year still. So, okay, sir. Myself, Satish. I'm third year PhD scholar from Christ University, Bangalore. So the interdisciplinarity, the intenseness of the research, the discussions coming from technology background and the UG first years, PG and PhD, or all of these things that we already discussed, and I really appreciate the same. Not being very proud, but as to just to count on, this is my 12th university that I'm stepping into, and this is the first time that I'm seeing varied themes that's been given. It's not just focusing on one, and that is something that's very important when it comes to interdisciplinarity. And second one was that looking at the schedule here, this is again the first time I was observing that it's going till late 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. I was like thinking how we're going to do it, and my presentation was like after 6 p.m. in the evening. So this is something very new for me, but honestly I didn't feel that. It actually went very smooth, and I also had my friends like to accompany, and I did not feel time was passing. So that was a really good one. And one last thing, not just about conference, but one thing that really welcomed me in this campus was, just to point it out, I'm not really sure if it's coming from our department, the humanities department, but there is an Instagram page for NIT Warangal freshers, and I had a little bit chat with them, and they were like telling me, this page is for, so usually it's not easy to enter, to have the admission process at NITs and IITs, right? So they are trying to ease that process out for those who are interested, those who are aspiring to get into NIT Warangal. So seniors from like 2 to 3 years now, juniors are taking up that responsibility. Through this Instagram page, they are helping out step by step. That is what they were telling me, and it was a fascinating idea. I felt like, so we are currently in the discussion to promote the NIT Warangal freshers page through my Instagram, so we are talking about it. So that was really fantastic idea, I felt like. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm Aishwarya, research scholar from Andhra University. I really want to appreciate everyone whosoever organized this. I went to a lot of seminars, and everywhere we used to face a little bit of chaos, a small sense of disturbances, either in lunch or where the presentations or anywhere. But here it was very smooth, as if we are like in an in an extraordinary, some international, some US or UK, those type of seminars I felt it, because I went to international seminars before also, but there I felt a bit of chaos are happened while people were also, but here it was really organized really well. The research scholars and ma'am, everyone, it was really great organizing, and by seeing this I can understand that how to organize a better seminars in our place also. And this is a great outlook and new papers, different innovative papers, whereas in our university even we also still we think that feminism, these were the basic traditional theories only we talk. And where I came here, like one of my friend Varun, these people gave it different outlooks, like traumas and innovative ideas, and this type of ideology will give more outlook. And this is a perfect idea, perfect place to give me a different outlook for the literature background, because till now I think only literature is for very less scope, very less theories we can deal, but right now I think there is a lot of scope in our literature. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for sharing your experiences, and we consider your feedback to make our future events better. Thank you one and all.
Now I welcome our Director in Charge, Professor Venu Vinod Sir, Dean Faculty Welfare, to speak a few lines to our participants.
Good evening all. Chief guest of today's valedictory program, Professor Hssrc from IFLU Hyderabad, and head of the department, Professor Madhavi, and our own chief guest on the inaugural function, Professor Darshana Samaravira from Sri Lanka, the Department of Humanities and Social Justice, all the faculty members, the participants, delegates, and the backbone of this conference, the scholars and other students. So I congratulate the department on the successful completion of the conference. I think this is not a small task, it's a gigantic task, to see these 3 days going off smoothly with all positive feedback. So madam, I think your leadership, right? So it's this one more positive contribution, not only to the department, to the institute, because it's an international conference, and I see, I think, the participation from across different countries. Right? We had speakers from other countries also. And this conference, I think, should help in better networking between the participants from other institutes and the NIT Warangal, right? I think they should not end today, but it should lead to something else. It should lead to some concrete proposals in the future, right? So that's my suggestion, and please see that you establish collaboration with the department, and we are going to shortly have no recruitment, so see that if you can come back, if you can come to NIT Warangal as a faculty member, those of you who are interested. And technology, definitely I think it's changing the way we are working, even though it's helping us, but it's also, I think, taking away of us from our traditional ways of working, writing and communicating, right? I think more so like students, we are also getting used to the SMS English, right? WhatsApp English, okay? And also not only English, even engineering also, the numbers, right? When we calculate something, let us say 12,500, there is a number, the student has to give that answer report in the class. Student doesn't say 12,500, he will say 12500. So there is a difference, right? So they got used to talking cell phone numbers, and that is being reflected in the class, right? So which is not a good sign, because 12500 doesn't convey anything, whereas 12,500 conveys something. So there is a difference. But anyway, so these are the times we have to live with it, right? Again, okay, so I again congratulate the department and wish you all good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable suggestion, and we appreciate your presence here. Next, I welcome Professor Ipshita Chanda to continue the conversation.
Good evening, and I think the way in which I was invited actually says what I was going to say. So it is a conversation. I am actually not used to being chief guest or chief anything for that matter. You know, the formality is something that I find often imposes a kind of hierarchy and barriers between people who participate. So the first thing that I'd like to say, of course, is thank you to those we thought were unsung, but I think that the participants have made it very clear that no one has been unsung here. And that is one of the major takeaways for me as far as this conference is concerned. I mean, just given the fact that I have had many years of teaching and therefore many years of, conference participation across the world, I think the time has come now to acknowledge the fact that we have more or less set a new way of doing things, and I think it is humanities and the pedagogy, research, scholarship, and participation in humanities disciplines that has enabled us to do this. And this conference actually has been a very clear, visible, and audible example of how far we have reached. Simply because of the way in which it has been conducted, I have not spent so much time here except for the whole afternoon, and I really wish that, I had given myself the opportunity of being around such vibrant young and old minds for a longer span of time. So I would like to thank the department, the head, the teachers, the scholars, and the students for allowing me to have this opportunity. And I would like to suggest, therefore, that the fact that we have established a very basic requirement for conversation now will enable us to take the conversation forward. And I think the conversation forward is now to change the ways in which our interactions are held. For example, it's true that we cannot, of course, leave anyone out. Inclusion is one of the primary things I think that literature, especially within the humanities, teaches us, because it gives a voice to everyone. So while we cannot leave everyone out, is it possible for us to allow conversation after the paper? I mean, somebody did suggest that maybe 15 minutes would be a good idea. And I was, because of my age, led back to think of the times when people were ceremoniously invited to conferences and allowed to air their views for hours on end, often not followed by discussions for those many hours, so that people just stated their views and left. How can we evolve? I hesitate to say mechanism, but at the moment I cannot think of another word. But can we evolve a mechanism which will allow inclusion as well as continue the conversation? I do agree that the conversations over tea and dinner and outside under the trees, etc., are a very important part of the conference. But perhaps we should rethink that those do not become the most important parts, that more people, I mean, are able to listen to each other's views within the scope of the venue itself. It's an impossible task almost before you do it. But since you have actually achieved quite an impossible task for having 400 papers online and off, perhaps you can challenge yourself to go further. And I mean, I have said this before, but I'll take the opportunity of the director in charge being present and say it again. Could the NITs, the humanities and social sciences departments of the NITs think of collaborating with other humanities and social sciences departments in other NITs such that your courses can be shared across the NITs, and could you even think of taking that further with the IITs, because even they have humanities and social sciences, and all of these humanities and social sciences departments, I won't say feel isolated, because they struggle against feeling isolated, but they do feel marginalized and somewhere, at times, lower in the hierarchy of so-called knowledge within the institute. So since you have started this by setting this example of including people and giving them space to speak, perhaps you could take forward this example and extend it to others who have not thought of it earlier as well, which I think then would create a kind of solidarity amongst not only the people who are involved in humanities and social sciences within an overwhelmingly technological situation. And I say this, sir, knowing that you are a technologist yourself, but the sympathy that has been, and the sympathy and understanding, I think, that has been shown, at least in the time that I have been here, from people who have directed the fortunes and the futures of technological institutes. The humanities and the social sciences are, as again I have said, but then I take your presence as an opportunity to say it again, that they are not service departments. I think this conference has proved something like that. So that they are in fact a very important part of these institutions, and perhaps as a rank outsider who comes from a humanities university, I would suggest that it is a time that, you know, their presence and their major contribution in making a human being be whatever she wishes to be, whether a technologist or a scientist within research or pedagogy, in making those dreams come true in a holistic manner, so that you would also be able to contribute to the humanities and the social sciences part of the institution as well. Now, having given you that, having taken the opportunity to give you that unasked for advice, I would like to end by really thinking that this conversation will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that advice. It was our pleasure listening to you, and we loved having you here. Next, I request Professor K. Madhavi, Head of Hssrc, and our Director-in-Chief, Venu Vinod sir, to facilitate Ipshita Chanda, ma'am. With the Thank you, Madhavi ma'am. Thank you, Venu sir. Now it's time to know who all bagged the Best Presenters Award. For that, I invite Dr. Srikuti to announce the best papers.
Okay, I'm directly announcing the offline results first. In track 1, Mohit Joshi. I invite Professor Ipshita Chanda to hand over the certificate to Mohit. Sorry. Okay, track 2, Kriti, Abuzu Kriti and Neha Ratnala, Pasupurati, Sandeep Kumar R. So Professor Ipshita Chanda, please. Right now we are giving only certificate to just one person. We'll give the rest later. Okay. Yes. Okay. Track number 3, Aishwarya Sureshan. Yes. Track number 11, Satish Kumar H. Track number 18, Swati Mohan. Okay. Track number 19, Anupama T. Anupama T? No. Your track number. Please note, the best presenters will be provided an e-certificate. This is a formality. So, track number 26, Gender and Cultural Studies, Vidyashree B. Track 27, ELE, Pedagogy, Curriculum and Modern Approaches, Dr. Kuturi Krishna Swami. Okay, track number 28, Sociology and Anthropology, Satyakrishna Kumar Namala. Okay, track 35, ELE, Cultural and Social Aspects, Durusoju Durgachari. track 36. Track 36, Environmental, Cultural and Post-Human Narratives, Ria Rose. Track 10, ELE Pedagogical Techniques, Dr. C. Lakshmi. Track number 38, ELE, Miss Gopika Jayachandran. Thank you, ma'am. So this is the end of offline presenters. So we'll now just announce the winners of the online online presentation. Track number 4, Dr. Jaya Jeevakani G, Dr. Sunija AJ and J Bhanumati. Track number 5, Jayashree Raghotaman. Track number 6, Anubhuti Walia and Dr. Preeti Puri. Track number 7, Miss Alina George. Track number 8, Sanjari Chattopadhyay. Track number 9, Dr. Rosita Joseph Valiamatam. Track number 12, Anil Kumar D and SP Dhanavel. Track number 13, Ananya Chand. Track number 14, Kavi and Dr. Maithili Paikane. Track number 15, Prerna Tolani, NIT Trichy. Okay. Track number 16, Bibin K. Track number 17, Anne Rose Davis. Track number 20, Sumana Mukherjee. Track 21, Shafali and Dr. Preeti Puri. 22, Miss Meenakshi S. 23, Sandra Sunny. 24, Y. Getzi Arathana Mary. 25, Jessica. 29, Priya Roy. 30, Druvashikhaba Jadeja. 31, Rashmi Mishra. 32, Atri Majumdar. 33, Ikra Mehboob. 34, Ayan Mondal. 37, Saswati Haldar and Mohammad Shanawaz. 39, Janani KS. 40, Sangeeta Bhamidipati. 41, Janet Johnny. And 42, Alfred Jamie Jose. Congratulations, winners.
Now I request Ms. Kavya to propose a word of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kavya from the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. I deem it my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of PAN-NIT Humanities and Social Sciences Research Conclave Hssrc 2024. I extend my profuse gratitude to the chief guest of this occasion, Professor Ipshita Chanda, for illuminating the event with her conversation and gracious presence. And ma'am, we will continue the conversation. Thank you so much. I thank our director, Professor Bidyadhar Subuddhi, for his inspiring mentorship, cooperation, and support in organizing the conclave despite his busy schedule. I take this opportunity to thank Professor Venu Vinod, Director in Charge, Dean, Faculty Welfare, NIT Warangal, for gracing this occasion with his presence and support. I extend my thanks to the Registrar in Charge, Professor N.B. Uma Mahesh, for his support and encouragement. I am very grateful to Professor K. Madhavi, Head, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, for always being the pillar of support and guiding us in organizing this humongous event in a magnificent way. My sincere thanks to the organizing secretaries, Dr. Nathan, Dr. B. Spurti, Dr. R. Venela, for their meticulous planning in organizing this event effectively. My special thanks and gratitude to the visiting faculty of the department, Dr. Ajish, Dr. K. Malhari, Dr. Shrikuti, and from the day we conceived this idea of conducting the conference, they were at it, omnipresent, multitasking, executing every task diligently. We called them at any time and they were there to help us out. From the time of registration to abstract submission till date, and I think all of you would agree with me. My sincere thanks to all the heads, directors, faculties of all the coordinating NITs for extending the support and encouragement throughout. I thank every speaker, chair, co-chair, paper presenter, and participants for their enthusiastic presence, enriching the sessions with their views, interaction, and constructive feedback. Last but not the least, I thank all the research scholars of the department who work tirelessly day and night, and without them, this event would not have been possible. And just to give you an example, there were days and nights when they stayed up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. towards the end of the conference to make this a reality. I especially thank the technical team and for their assistance, and also the press and media for their coverage. Thank you once again. I request all of you to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
So all the presenters, collect your certificates from the registration desk.
We would like all the participants and the presenters to stay back.